Hello world, Phil here with the top conspiracy theories surrounding the April 8th solar eclipse.
On April 8th, 2024, there will be another total solar eclipse that will mark an X right across the nation of the United States. That alone seems to have some sort of prophetic significance, as well as the fact that that takes place just a few days before the Passover that year. But also, on October 14th, 2023, this year, another annular solar eclipse is going to cross the United States. And what's truly incredible about all of that, when you mark this all on a map, it looks exactly like the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph. Some other pretty incredible things surrounding this is that on October 14th, 2023, when the annular solar eclipse will take place across the United States, that is also the day of the new moon in Jerusalem. And then on April 8th, 2024, when we get the next total solar eclipse that crosses the United States, marking the X, is that there's another new moon in Jerusalem on that date. Also April 8th happens to be the first day of the first month on the Hebrew calendar, and so it's the marking of a brand new biblical year on that date.
All right.
In Luke 21:25, after Jesus says that there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars in the last days, he said that there will also be distress of nations. Israel and Jerusalem being an absolute focal point for what takes place in the last days. It's incredible to see that lately there has been distress in Israel.
Tonight, there is unrest across Israel on the eve of a defining moment, even as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recovers from an emergency heart procedure. The 73-year-old Prime Minister said he's in excellent health and said he will be in the Knesset Monday when his right-wing ruling coalition is set to pass the first part of his judicial overhaul plan. Opposition to the plan reached a climax this weekend with mass protests across the country. The bitter disagreement reflects the deep split in Israel between those who want a more secular and diverse nation and those with a more religious and nationalistic vision.
Recently, France has been seeing massive unrest take place, just another nation to add to the list that's experiencing distress.
Molotov cocktails directed at the police, burning buses and looting. For days on end, riots spread across France.
The prophecies of the last days and what the world will look like in the end times, I don't think is just going to happen overnight. It seems that these things are going to have to be built up to that very point, and it seems like that's what we're getting a glimpse of right now.
Texas issues emergency warnings for the April 8th eclipse. The state's power grid faces a major test with the anticipated arrival of the nation's largest crowd of eclipse visitors, estimated at 1.3 million. Solar panels across Texas will suddenly drop their output, and the eclipse shadow will put unprecedented pressure on the grid. Texas is particularly vulnerable due to its high reliance on solar power. During past eclipses, states have urged citizens to conserve energy. But this time, Texas is not calling for cutbacks. The eclipse path will affect over 31.6 million people from Mexico's Pacific coast to Canada. If you're in the eclipse path or visiting, expect cell and GPS disruptions, stock groceries early, fill up the car, get prescriptions, have first aid supplies and batteries on hand, and ensure ample supplies for pets.
We must be alert of cataclysmic events is a powerful reminder of the end times.
This is getting wild. The National Guard is going to be here now for the solar eclipse.
I think because of all the tourism and people traveling.
They're also urging residents to stock up with 1 to 2 weeks of food in advance of the event and to have full fuel tanks.
Well, get ready, Chicago.
We're not talking about the eclipse. Two broods of cicadas.
Cicadas. We're set to see billions, possibly even more cicadas this spring.
Communication facilities could be overloaded, possibly making it difficult to make cell phone calls.
NASA has unveiled plans to launch 3 scientifically oriented rockets into the moon's shadow on Monday, April the 8th, coinciding with a partial solar eclipse spanning North America.
And apparently schools are canceled this day, and people are going on Twitter writing statements like this. Something strange is definitely happening. My kids in 3 different schools all got notices that school will be closed that day.
I've heard
Why
of this
CERN
too.
activating this super technology during a solar eclipse? These people are trying to open up a portal. Only people that believe that this will just be a regular day is the people that still sleep. Because obviously everyone else believes that something's going to happen.
A total solar eclipse. It happens when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, completely blocking out the light. On April 8th, more than 32 million people across Mexico, the United States, and Canada could see the sun completely darkened by the moon's shadow. And that moment of total darkness could last more than 4 minutes in some places. It's also going to be the last one for quite some time. A total solar eclipse won't happen again in the United States for about another 20 years.
Yeah, rare.
Danny, what's happening on April 8th?
There will be a total solar eclipse crossing much of the eastern part of the United States.
All right.
I know we had one in 2017, but that was the first one after 1979. Before that, in 1970, we had one in the United States. It won't be for another 20 years that we have a total solar eclipse in the United States. So this is a spectacular event. You don't want to miss it. I can't describe it because you won't get it until you've experienced it for yourself. But these are the most remarkable things I have ever seen. Having been to totality twice, I can tell you that.
It's going to be an astronomical experience.
Astronomical experience.
All right, this is what the solar eclipse is going to look like in each state. So Oregon, Washington. So wherever you live, if you live in Idaho or Montana, this is kind of what it's going to look like in your area at this time and when it ends. And from what I'm gathering is, I think we're all going to get a little bit of it. Like, even if you're not in the path of totality, even if you're like, I guess, outside of it, then you'll see like little pieces. Which is still something to see. I think that kind of makes everyone a part of it in a way, even though you don't get to experience totality. But I feel like a bunch of people are probably going to like visit the places that have the path of totality, and some of those places might be small towns that can't handle hundreds of thousands of people. So I kind of get why maybe the National Guard or people are saying get supplies, because imagine that you live in a small town, right? Maybe, I don't know, 20, 30,000 people. And then 100,000 people show up ready to eat, ready to use the bathroom, ready to drink water and hydrate themselves and, spread out across the city just to see what's there. They're going to pretty much bring a small town to its maximum capacity of resources. So I think that's why they're telling the locals, like, get some water, get your supplies, because if we have a bunch of tourists come in to see this eclipse, like this part in Kentucky, places that will have the totality like Maine, that you should stock up, because what if it gets popular enough that, everything gets sold out? So that's kind of what I think about the conspiracy. Or New York being in total totality, that's crazy. I just want to see what's going to happen with that. That's so many people, All right.
So as you guys may know, the solar eclipse is just a couple of damn days away. 2 weeks away.
Couple days.
2 weeks and a half away, if I can say. For those who got work that day, if you can use a paid sick, whatever, utilize it that day.
Yeah, call off.
Utilize it that day. For those who have to work on the solar eclipse day, you better be careful, especially if you're working at malls, Walmarts, big stores, especially stores that are selling electronics or jewelry. all right? And it's not heavily secured or guarded, period. You have to be prepared. Honestly, I ain't even going out that day. I don't even want to touch ground that day. The energy shift that is about to take place and the demonic creatures that are about to be out there, you have to be on high alert. I don't think anybody should work. I think everybody should not work that day. As you may know, schools are being canceled that day.
Yep.
For a particular reason.
I've heard this
is going
myself.
to be something.
Schools
a lot
are
of
being
National
canceled.
Guards will be deployed outside and be around. I don't even think that's going to be good enough. Honestly, be careful. There's things that's going to happen that day. I hope nobody loses their life that day. But if you can, protect yourself, arm yourself, guard yourself that day. I don't care where the hell you are, if you're going out anywhere. If you can, don't go to work that day.
All right.
Breaking news, this was never supposed to happen, as this deadly biblical warning is happening in real life in less than 1 month, and life on this planet may no longer exist.
People were terrified after scientists reported a haunting celestial biblical event that will hit Earth in just a few weeks. And our Earth could face a supernatural divine ending, as we are seeing signs of this starting with no way to stop it.
Well,
on April 8, 2024, a solar eclipse will shroud the U.S. into darkness, and scientists were shocked as it's reported to be passing through biblical towns like Jonah, Texas, the same name that the Bible mentions in Matthew chapter 12, saying there will not be signs of the end except for the prophet of Jonah.
The eclipse will also engulf several other biblical towns into complete darkness, like Rapture, Indiana, and right through the exact location of where Noah's Ark was rebuilt, Williams, Kentucky. The Bible in Luke 17 also warns us of a great flood ending all of us, with our signs being in an eclipse with our stars.
And April's eclipse is rumored to be passing through our constellation Cetus, representing our ocean. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts down below.
Dang.
What if, on April 8th, 2024, during the awe-inspiring moment of a solar eclipse, the world experienced the biblical event known as the Rapture? As millions gaze upwards, marveling at the moon cloaking the sun, a sudden divine light pierces through the darkness, signaling the beginning of an event long foretold. In an instant, amidst the celestial spectacle, countless individuals vanish, leaving behind a world in confusion and fear. The eclipse, a moment of universal wonder, turns into a backdrop for a profound and unsettling mystery. Streets are filled with abandoned cars, homes with unattended meals, and workplaces with empty chairs. The world stands still, not just in awe of the astronomical event, but in the sudden, inexplicable loss. The narrator weaves a tale of contrast, where the beauty of the eclipse is overshadowed by the chaos of the rapture. Families are torn apart, communities left in disarray, and leaders struggle to provide explanations and maintain order. Yet in the face of such unprecedented events, the story finds a thread of hope and unity. People from all walks of life come together, seeking understanding and comfort. Religious and non-religious alike ponder the meaning behind the events, driving conversations about faith, existence, and the future of humanity. Amidst the fear, a newfound sense of community and empathy emerges as people realize the fragility of their existence and the importance of cherishing every moment. As the eclipse ends and sunlight returns, the world is changed, not just by the loss, but by the shared experience of facing the unknown. This story of the rapture during a solar eclipse serves not as a prediction, but as a reflection on humanity's enduring spirit, the power of faith, and the unbreakable bonds that connect us all. In this tale, the rapture and the eclipse intertwine to create a moment of both loss and awakening, challenging us to consider our beliefs, our connections, and the ways we find light.
If you live in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, you need to watch this. So the 2024 total solar eclipse is happening in just a few weeks on April the 8th. This solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, United States, and Canada. If you don't know what a solar eclipse is, it's when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken as if it were dawn or dusk. Obviously, if you've seen one, you know this, because it'll be literally the middle of the afternoon and it'll go dark outside and all the traffic lights will turn on. There are some safety measures to take. You can never look at this with your bare eyes. You have to have protective glasses. They're called eclipse glasses. But usually if you're in an area where this is going to be visible, they give them out for free. So the path of the eclipse continues from Mexico, entering the United States and Texas, and traveling through all of these states. I'm not going to list them.
I really hope that this doesn't happen, because they said there's supposed to be 2 broods of cicadas coming out of the ground in the area of the path of totality. Now, all I'm trying to say is, like, how far are they going to branch out? You know, like, is it just going to be in that area where the cicadas are? Or are we going to have billions of cicadas stretching out across the entire nation? Because that would be the worst case scenario. Like, forget the darkness of the solar eclipse. Cicadas. 2 broods. Don't even know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Just, it sounds like a lot more than one. So if this is a possibility, and the last time this happened was 200 years ago, then can we get the testimonials of what happened 200 years ago so we can kind of get an idea of what to expect? Because this is not it.
If you're worried about the 2024 solar eclipse, these are some items I feel you should be stockpiling.
This is the type of stuff I like.
Number 1 is going to be a bug out bag with various survival items. You should also have a way of communication, because if communication gets knocked out, you're going to want some walkie-talkies. Also a emergency radio, emergency blanket and some paracord, various power banks and solar generators, a tactical fishing backpack with a collapsible fishing pole, first aid kit. If you're worried about an EMP, some EMP defense bags by Faraday Defense, a level 3 plate carrier.
Okay.
And don't forget the light that goes on it too. A compact solar charger, 28 watts. This one's big blue. Or get a couple portable 100 watt Fantic panels.
Okay.
You're also going to want a food supply. I got a 1-month food supply by ReadyWise, along with a 14-day and a bunch of Augustin Farms, some water, nutrient survival.
My man is ready.
And some other canned goods. You're also going to want a portable dual fuel stove for cooking your food and boiling water. You're going to make sure you have some gas for that stove stocked up as well. And last but not least, for the last item I'm going to show you, I actually built myself a solar battery backup. So I have my solar panels out in the backyard, and this powers almost everything in this office right now. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below what else I need to add to my stockpile.
Guns.
So something has came across my attention about the solar eclipse, and I don't think y'all know how biblical it's finna get.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's turn to Matthew 16. Ye cannot discern the signs of the time. The wicked generation and adulteress seeketh the sign, but there will be no signs given, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And for those who don't know who the prophet Jonah is, you about to find out. See, Jonah was on an assignment to go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it. Yeah, because it had became wicked before the Most High. No, Jonah didn't listen to the Most High. He would have much rather seen them get turned to Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. And then Jonah finally obeyed the Most High. He went to the city of Nineveh and told them, you got 40 days to repent before the Most High come and set it off. And apparently the people in Nineveh, they got some act right and turned from their evil and violent ways. The Most High was like, cool, it's no more smoke. And we just read the only sign that the wicked generation would get is the signs of the prophet Jonah, right? What a coinkadink. Now pay attention to the trajectory and look at the cities that it's going over. Y'all see that, right? Nineveh, Jonah. It will be like the days of Noah, the ark. I got the message. Turn from y'all wicked ways and talk to the Most High. Because if not, he gonna set it off. Now let me know in the comments though. It's the signing. Like and follow for more wisdom, and stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube.
What can we expect to see in the sky on April 8th?
Well, if you're in totality, for a few minutes, you will see the corona. That's the outer part of the sun's atmosphere. It goes out several solar diameters. It's pearly white. It's got streamers, magnetic field lines you can see. Closer in, there are these blood red loops called prominences, and you can see all of that with the eye. No dark glasses required. And they're beautiful, and you can capture that with your mind, your eyes, better than you can with the camera. Also, the planets will be out. There'll be 5 naked eye planets. We'll be able to see all 5 of them, Venus to the right, and Jupiter to the left, and the other 3 planets nearby, and some of the brighter stars. It won't be dark like midnight, but it will be dark like deep twilight.
All right. Well, that's it for today's video. If you like these type of videos, then like and subscribe. And also check out this next video over here if you want to continue going down the rabbit hole.